Okay, so just let me give you a brief overview that these lectures are a part of series that I am doing on HRM. You can find my earlier lectures on the university's webpage, social media, YouTube, and Facebook page, I guess. So these are in a series. I'm covering all the functions of HR in a series. So today we will be talking about managing careers and the role of HR and how to effectively do that. It's going to be a very interesting lecture because we are going to focus on two aspects of managing career. One is the organizational aspect, and we will be talking about the HR function and so on. The other one is the individual perspective. So I believe that you would find both of these perspectives really interesting. As far as the participation during the session is concerned, you can always use the chat box. You can write down your comments, your questions, whatever is coming through your mind. You can use the chat box and write it down. And obviously, by the end of the session, we will be taking few questions as well. So those who do not already know me, I am Umar Hassan and I'm currently working as an assistant professor. HRM is my core area of expertise. I have around 20 years of experience teaching, training, mentoring, and consulting with different organizations. So I hope that my today's lecture is going to be really fruitful for you. So let us start by briefly introducing that why are we talking about career management and what has HR got to do with it and how we are going to approach this lecture moving forward. Now, career development generally is assumed as the courses, programs, trainings offered by the organization to help employees advance within the organization. As I've already told you in my previous lectures that the top companies in the world, they are the reason that they are considered as the top companies when it comes to the employment practices or the HR practices. The main reason is that their career path, one of the main reason is that their career paths are very well aligned. Like when an employee joins an organization, he or she knows that they are going to get an equal opportunity to excel through those career tracks, excel through those different management levels, and probably end up becoming the top level CEO of the organization. I usually give the example of Coca-Cola, which is a very wonderful example because a very recent CEO, Mukhtar Kent, who is from uh, Turkish background, he started working in the organization as a salesman. Now, a salesman is a very entry level kind of a career, a very entry level position. So while starting his job as a salesman in next 20 years or so, he was able to become the CEO of the organization. Now, we need to think that how is it possible that a person who enters at the bottom level of an organization is able to excel through all the levels and eventually become the CEO. Obviously, his talent and his abilities, they do play a integral and very critical role, but the organizational policies, procedures, and career management track has got a lot to do with this. Because if the organizations, they do not provide equal opportunity to all the employees to excel, then there are many talented employees who just end up staying at a certain level. I hope you guys are familiar with the concept of glass ceiling. If not, let me tell you that in terms of giving equal opportunity to males and females working in the organization, there is a concept that females, they have to face a glass ceiling. Glass ceiling means that there is a roof on top of your head, but it is made of glass. You can actually see through it, but you cannot pass through it. All right. So what does it mean that the females, usually it is said that in Silicon Valley, in different other industries, the females, they have to face this glass ceiling. They cannot go through a certain career level. They are stopped. So this means that the organizational career development or career management practices are not fair. They're not transparent. All right. We are going to talk about the organizational aspect of this later, but let us focus on the individual factor. Each individual, all of you need to take complete responsibility of your own career. Now, traditionally, an employee can like give the burden or just put the responsibility over the organizational head that you are going to take me a long way, but now it is important for each employee, each individual to continue to develop himself or herself and focus on learning new skills and abilities and trying out new experiences, building on new skill sets in order to excel through the organizational journey, in order to excel through the organizational levels. So I want to talk to you about Holland's 6 factors. And while going through these factors, I would encourage that if you evaluate yourself, if you ask yourself that what kind of an individual are you and which careers would suit you the most. Now, these type of personality tests, they are available abundantly free online. Mind Tools is one of the website that you can use to find these free personality tests, aptitude tests. Uh, I will be sharing few links as well, but there are many links available to you online free, which help you understand that what type of personality do you have and which career would suit you the most. Even if you are going through certain careers right now, if you are a student, if you are working in any company, in any organization, in any marketing, accounting, sales, or even working in a bank, maybe no matter what area are you working in, these type of tests, they help you understand that what is your personality, what do you like doing the most, what is your aptitude, and how you can actually find the relevant job position for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe these 6 traits one by one, and I want you to evaluate yourself. You need to ask yourself that, am I this person? You can be a combination of 2 or more traits even, so don't worry about it. It's not that you have to put yourself in this particular triangle and you have to find your attributes and traits from this. You can have a multiple kind of traits with you. So we'll start with the first one, that is that some people are realistic. So let us describe who they are. I'm going to firstly describe these 6 traits, and then I would allow you to think about it, that what kind of an individual trait appeals to you the most and you think that you fit in that criteria. And then we will see that which type of career options are there. For example, if for this realistic type of person, we will see that what career options are most suitable so they can excel the most in that particular position. Now, people who have athletic or mechanical ability prefer to work with objects, machines, tools, plants, or animals, and preference for working with things as opposed to ideas or people. I mean, think about it that, when I read this, I think of my brother. When we used to be young, so there were certain toys that our parents used to bring for us. So my thing was that I used to play with that toy and then I like put it aside. Now, my brother used to like open up the whole toy, try to understand the mechanics of it. Then he used to put it back all together. And for me, it was the toughest job. I ride a bicycle nowadays. So if my chain goes off, I find it very difficult to put the chain on my pedal, which in itself is a very simple task. But I understand that I'm not that kind of person. So you need to ask yourself, and if you believe, I would want that if you, while going through these traits, whatever trait that you think that resonates with you, that you find your personality to be relevant, you can write it down in the chat box. You can change it later, no problem, all right? So the next one is a person who likes to work with ideas, investigative in nature. Ask yourself that, are you an individual who likes to observe, learn, investigate, analyze, evaluate, or solve problems? Do you like to do research? Would you want to think of an idea and you would want to work on it for like coming days or so? We have a student with us, Anna, I guess. So Anna is a researcher, I believe, because she did, yeah, all right. So she did, we did talk about a research proposal that she had. She was working on it. And I responded to her that I do not have the research aptitude. Although I'm a teacher and I need to be a very good researcher, but when it comes to the aptitude, I'm more of a trainer. I'm more of a social person. I'm less of a computer person. I mean, I find it very difficult to sit in front of the computer and think of an idea for like 8 to 10 hours a day. The people who are really good at it, probably they can become scientists, all right, if they are able to put their minds to it. You know, the COVID vaccine, when the COVID recently, the COVID phenomena that took the world by shock, doctors, it were the doctors who were able to make the vaccine, and they like spent weeks or months in their labs working on these ideas. They were not like talking, they were not doing public speaking or doing networking like me. They were researchers actually doing research. So you need to understand that, are you that kind of a person who has that specific aptitude? All right, we are good continuing. So some people are artistic, you know, we know what it is. If you are like, if you want to draw, sketch, sing, perform, if you believe in having, in expressing ideas in ways that people find it, I find painters, sketchers, I find them very amazing. I find them God gifted. You know, I recently was in UK and I visited few of the art galleries, and this was my first time that I was able to see the masterwork of Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and I thought to myself that these people are not ordinary humans. They are like artists, and they are like next level artists because they are so creative in creating something which other people cannot. So you need to ask yourself that, do you fit in this criteria? If you have not been able to find yourself in these three criteria up till now, you don't need to worry. There are three more coming, so you will fit in somewhere else. Don't worry about that. This is the one that I like. People who like to work with people. The trait is social, to inform, to enlighten, to help, to train, to teach even. All right. So prefer problems solving through discussions. And they do not like working with things. They like working with people. I like when I was preparing this, and when I evaluate myself, I see myself fitting into this aspect. Like I find myself to be a person who likes working with people rather than things. All right. So social can be one of your leading trait. Well, once we are done with understanding all these traits, I'm going to tell you that which career options are more suitable for you. I mean, you can be multi-talented, no worries about that. You can have investigative and social traits both included in your personality. But this is just a regular test that may tell you that there are certain things in your personality that you would want to explore, because we are talking about career management. Now, a go-getter attitude, enterprising, entrepreneurial mindset, people who like to work with people, influence, persuade, lead, manage for economic gain, the businessmen, self-starters, people who want to just work on an idea, make a team, get the goals, get the desired results, and achieve something. These people, they enjoy leadership positions, and they don't want to get into minor tiny details. They just have a bigger picture of things in their mind, and they just work for achieving them with other people. So you need to like think about in a way in your, when I read this thing, the big leaders of the world, they come in my mind, like most prophets, like Nelson Mandela, maybe, like or Mao Zedong, Chinese leader who was working for the independence of Chinese people. I mean, revolutionary people. And then there is the conventional, the last one is the conventional people who like to work with data, have numerical or clerical ability, carrying out things in detail or following instructions, prefer structured situation over ambiguous ones, rather than ideas they want to work on practical things. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but I'm not good at maths at all. You know, when I know I have to solve a problem, and that problem is going to be divided into 8 steps, and everybody knows about those 8 steps, I eventually lose interest. I like surprises. I like new ideas. I like new things happening. I like new results. All right. So I'm just comparing myself with all these traits, and I would want you to find the one that appeals to you the most. Now, I would want you to use the chat box. There are 3 messages waiting in the chat box, but I would want all of you to write down the trait that you find as the most appropriate or relevant to you. Have you been able to find your personality in this? If so, please write down in the chat box what you are. Are you realistic? Are you investigative? Are you artistic? Are you social? Are you enterprising? Or are you conventional? So let us have a look at the chat box. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So one response is here. Anna says, I'm an investigative person. Yeah, no doubt about that. Thank you for sharing. The rest of you can also participate. The chat box is a wonderful tool for all of you to use, share your ideas, give your opinions. Now, Bokang says that I'm conventional, realistic, and investigative. That is wonderful. You have so many multiple traits. Good for you. All right. Asfaw says I'm realistic. Good. All right. So many messages coming. I need to like open my screen. Okay. Ila Rabo says I'm enterprising. Stella says I'm enterprising and social. Promise says I'm social. I'm enterprising. Really wonderful of you to share. I really like and admire when people they start sharing their opinions, because that is where I know that we are moving in a wonderful, wonderful direction. So let us see in the next slide that what are the matching occupations that you can pursue. You know, I have made these slides, and in your spare time after this training, you can go through these slides. There are so many detailed material available on that. And I would encourage, if you go on the internet and you find some more relevant tests for you, and continue to explore yourself and explore other options. So the realistic peoples are good at doing what? They can be good mechanics, electricians, locksmith, things with motor skills involved. They can be a good forester. They can find their careers in agriculture. The thing is that if you are a certain type of person, you would enjoy certain type of jobs. You know, I enjoy teaching. If you make me somebody else, if you make me a banker, I would probably get very frustrated. I won't want to do it. All right. So what is the main aspect of liking or disliking? It is my personality type. So we need to understand our personality types. All right, moving quickly forward, that investigative people, they can become scientists, chemists, biologists, physicians, medical people, surveyor, people who like working with data. Artistic peoples, obviously, they can find their careers in performing arts. They can, I mean, these days, the digital skills are very much in demand. You know, there are many courses that people are doing in terms of becoming digitally literate. Uh, Video editing is one of those skills which is very common nowadays. People, they offer their services on freelance forums. But there are no degrees as such in film editing. I mean, they are all being offered, but they are not very popular. So you can learn movie editing or film editing in around in a online 2 months course. But the thing is that do you really enjoy doing film editing? Do you believe that when you are editing something, you want to make a masterpiece and you would want to show that masterpiece to the world? If you have that need, so you fall in this criteria, okay? Artistic or creator. So if you're a social helper, you can obviously find your career in social work. You can become a counselor, you can become a teacher. This means that I'm right where I wanted to be. All right. So if you're an entrepreneurial enterprise mindset, a go-getter, you can become a lawyer, a judge, a businessman, a hotel manager, recreational leader, so on and so forth. So if you are conventional, you can find office work, administrative work like accounts, be a bookkeeper, things that require a certain kind of order. The important thing is that whatever you do, find interest in it. Somebody has raised the hand. I would request that if you can ask your question in the chat box right now, because we cannot take questions verbally. It'll take a lot of time and I want to complete my session. But at the end, I would love to hear your questions. Okay. So another interesting personality type test or evaluation criteria that you can use is Shane's career anchors. Now, what drives you as a professional? What do you want to do? Some people, they seek pure challenge, starting from the right. Like they like doing work which provides a certain kind of challenge and you want to solve problems. Some people would want to have a bigger purpose. They want to dedicate their expertise to a certain cause. They seek an opportunity to pursue work that achieves some value, drives some, and makes this world a better place. I try to do it. I mean, I do try. I mean, this is in my mind. I'm not sure how successful I am doing it, but this is something that is in my mind. Some people have entrepreneurial creativity, like they want to create something which has an economic value, a business venture that may offer jobs, they may help them earn money as well. Some people want to work for security and stability. Now this tells you, like if you complete your degree and you think that whether I should do a business or should I get a job. So the answer that comes to your mind is not based upon market. Now, what I've seen over the time in students is that usually they're not university students I'm talking about, since my most of the exposure is with them. They're not really clear what do they want to do after the degree program. They just think that what is the scope of the market. Now, finding the scope of the market is an okay criteria, but it is not the ultimate criteria. The ultimate criteria is what are you good at? What do you want to do? So the important thing is, in order to have a career that suits you, that serves your passion and you find interest in it, when you spend 20, 25 years working as somebody, as a pilot, as a doctor, as a teacher, as an accountant, you would want to find some value in it. So that is going to come from your personality type. Same goes for if you like autonomy, independence, you would want to find work regarding that. Managerial work is there, technical is there, and lifestyle is there. The reason why I showed you these 2 or 3 slides is to give you an idea that there is Myers-Briggs personality type test. You can do that as well online. There are many other tests as well. It is good if you are in the phase of deciding your career, or if you're not like happy in your career right now and you want to do something else with your life, but you're not sure what to do. These type of tests, they help you understand that what kind of a personality do you have and what would suit you to do in future. All right. I hope you found this part of the today's lecture somewhat helpful. So please do give me your feedback in the chat box, because now we are proceeding with the organizational aspect, the HR aspect of finding career management. Before that, let me take a quick question. Bokang, you will get to see these slides later. Don't worry. I was there on the hexagon slide a lot. So you will get a copy of these slides later so you can have a look in detail. No worries. All right. So guys, if you, in the early part of this lecture, if you found this aspect of personality traits and how to match them with your career ambitions, and how is it helpful, if you found this information relevant and interesting, please share in the chat box. And now we are proceeding. All right. So the other aspect of HR department playing its role in terms of managing the careers of employees, that is something very interesting. Now, the interesting part is that organizations would want to make sure that the employee that they get on board, the employee that they hire, he or she should be sticking within the organization for a longer period of time. Like when they hire an employee, they would want to make sure that there is time and there is cost invested in that whole recruitment and selection process. So they would want to have people who stick within the organization for a longer period of time. And if the employees find work which is relevant for them, which is important for them, which is like interesting for them, only then will they be able to stick to the organization. Only then they will be retained. Otherwise, they would like just go away to other organizations and do some other work. Most organizations nowadays, they are focusing on developing strategies to make sure that employee retention is something that becomes a constant part of their work. By employee retention, we mean that employees, they stick to the organization. They don't want to go. They stay within the organization. And while during their stay, they continue to learn and develop. In our previous lecture, we did talk about uh, training and development, if you remember. So in training and development, the idea of the organization is to make sure that the employees, they are constantly upgrading their skills. They are learning new things. So career management is related to that. In order to make sure that the employees have certain capacities and they are working in certain departments, the company would want to invest on them and make sure that they stay retained within the organization. What is a career? It is a pattern of work-related experience that spans the course of a person's life. I mean, whatever you do professionally and your main source of earning money, something that you do for work, something that you would want to be recognized for is basically your career. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but since the slide is asking me to describe it, so I'm doing it. So we did talk about the organizational and individual perspective of careers. Uh, Organization's responsibility is there, but largely it is the responsibility of individuals. Please do share with me if there are any individuals right now who are already working in an organization, but they are taking this course, this class right now to upgrade their skills because they would fit in this criteria right now, that they are concerned about their individual careers, they are upgrading their degrees, they are upgrading their skill set. You know, I'm a teacher. My core job is to just go in the class, 2 or 3 or 4 classes within a week and just give lectures. But in addition to that, I do trainings. In addition to that, I do my research. I continue to upgrade my degrees. All these things that I'm doing it for my individual career development because I have to follow this red arrow as well, which is going in the upward direction. We all need to go, we all need to pursue our future in a way that gives us the desired benefits. Let me have a look at the chat box. All right, there are so many people. Wonderful. Stephen has asked a question. You can all see in the chat box that choose a new career if something is not working for you. Uh, you know, this is a basic question of decision making. The question that you have asked is, if you're already in a career and it's not working for you, so would you want to switch? So this is a basic decision making question. The decisions that we make in our lives, always remember that no decision is going to come with 100% certainty. I mean, if you want to like, if you go to a hotel, a restaurant, and you want to eat something, are you like 100% sure that out of these 30 things, I would want to eat this number 9 item and I would not want to eat the remaining 21 items? I don't think that is the case. The thing is that you are like 70% convinced that you want to eat something, but if that something is not available or there is some other issue, you are flexible to choose on some other. This is what happens in life as well. I mean, the decisions that we take in our lives, they do not come with 100% clarity. My response is that if you want to switch your career right now, it is going to be a trade-off. Obviously, you have gone through a certain career track in your life right now. You have earned a status, you have gained experience, and if you switch, you would want to start fresh. That is first trade-off, and starting fresh and having experience, obviously, it differs. But depends on you that if as an individual you value your sense of satisfaction more, then obviously you would want to make that decision which makes you happy. Now, I'm not saying that happiness is not related to economics. Like if traveling makes me happy, I just like shut down this laptop right now and take my bike and go out. How am I going to eat tomorrow? How am I going to make a livelihood? So it's not about happiness all the time, but you need to have a combination of career tracks and your what you want to pursue. So I would suggest that if you have a realistic option to switch to a career where you find your passion and you believe your personality is more suitable for it, and there is no like huge economic cost to it, like you're not losing on a lot of money, then I would suggest you go for it. But if the cost is a lot, then you find happiness in what you are doing right now. All right. Okay, moving forward. So, relating it with the concepts of HR, now career development is related to employee development because with the passage of time, the companies would want to make sure that employees they get opportunities to pick up. You know, whenever there are so many professionals working who just shared in the chat box that they have work experience. That is wonderful. So you may know that someday you are going to become a manager of your organization. If you're already a manager, someday you have an opportunity to become the CEO of the organization. And if you're already a CEO of an organization, I mean, uh, I'm so happy for you for that. All right. So this means that the company is giving you opportunities, certain tasks, which enable you to diversify your skill set and become and uh, be in a position to serve in managerial capacities. What is the job of a CEO? In a business organization, a CEO has to look after everything. And by everything, we mean accounting and finance, uh, marketing and sales. I mean, just talking about the basic functions, there are so many. There is research and development, there is IT, there is AI now, there are so many things. But the CEO would want to have an exposure of everything. So going back to the example of Mukhtar Kent, the CEO of Coca-Cola, he started as a salesman, or the salesman has an experience of sales only. Probably he doesn't know about finance and accounting. He doesn't know about IT, AI, global expansion, whatnot. But the company would want to give an opportunity to him through certain training and development activities that he's able to learn all those things. Now, these opportunities should be available to everyone. Now, it depends that the people who have the desired talent, who are hardworking, who have the ambition, they would want to pursue these. A good organization would want to provide opportunity to all. So, what is the value of offering careers to the employees for our organization? Just allow me to have a quick sip of water. The weather is has already changed where I am right now. I'm in Pakistan and we are like in the middle of summers right now. I'm in Abbottabad. Abbottabad is in the northern area. We have mountains and trees. Still, I'm like sweating a lot. But in the downside of our country, it's around 48, 50 degree right now, and you cannot just go out. So it's very hot. So we drink a lot of water. That is why I will be pausing and drinking water frequently during the session. Okay. So value for the organization is that in terms of having a career management strategy that ensures that needed talent will be available. Now, organization always need to have a foresight ability. Good organizations, they think about the future. They think like in 5 years, 10 years, and so on. So they would want to make sure that their current strategies are being reflected in the future. This career management practices, improves the organization ability to attract and retain talented employees. Obviously, if you get an opportunity to work in an organization like Coca-Cola, you know that your teacher says that your career is going to be secure. You know that you have heard the story of Mukhtar Kent, and no matter what position you are able to get in Coca-Cola, you can end up becoming the CEO of the organization. So you would desperately want to go in that organization. And this that is how you attract the organizations, they attract talented employees. Similarly, they would want to give minorities and women equal opportunity for growth and development. I did mention that this is very important, that the organization is able to reduce favoritism. The organization does not focus on specific individuals. It gives opportunities to all of them. Obviously, not all of them are going to learn everything. There are going to be ups and downs, but the provision of opportunity should be there for all of them. So when career management is there, it reduces employees' frustration because they know where they are headed. They are sure about their future. They are clear about that. Whenever I go through these best practices from HR perspective, I try to evaluate my career and my position in my organization as well. And I'm sure that you would be able to do the same within your organizational capacity. You would find that whether these things are happening in your organization or not. So one of the things that we can do is that while we are going through this content, we can always give a suggestion to our employers, to our HR department, to our managers to follow these things if these are already not there in our organization, because these are the best practices. Now, career management also improves cultural diversity and it promotes organizational goodwill. So there are like so many benefits to it. Organizations should continuously work on making sure that the whole 25, 30-year track of the employee is intact. It becomes boring for the employees to do a same job over and over and over again. Now, if the organization is not offering dynamic kind of work, not offering challenging job opportunities, the employees will definitely get bored and their employee commitment, their employee engagement is going to like go down. So this has a lot of benefits embedded in it. And obviously the value for the individual is that not only that they find their interest and motivation to stay within the organization, to excel through the hierarchy, to end up becoming the CEO, their skill set is being developed as well. The best investment that an organization can do is to invest in the skill set of the employees. I believe if a CEO ever asks me, I've been doing some consultancy work as well, and I do give advices and suggestions to the top managers of organizations who come to me, and I tell them that what they should be doing. One of my top suggestion always is to invest on the employees and then seek return. All bosses, all managers, they want their employees to perform out of the box and they want them to do well. But when asked about what is the company willing to invest on them, they just have like confused answers. So I believe it is like having children. I mean, if you have children, you just keep on expecting from them and you're not actually doing anything for them. So what do you think is going to happen? So this is the case with employees as well. So I think that the best thing that the companies can do for their employees is to invest on their skill set. All right. And how do they can do that? By mentoring and coaching. This is a very integral part. Recall your experience. Though there are like 6, 7 people who have said in the chat box that they are already employed, they're already working. Wonderful. I'm sure that most of you would be. But even if you're not, you can think about the role of mentors and coaches and helpers in your life. So my question is for the people who are already working. Did your organization assign you a mentor or a coach? Do they regularly give you some kind of, do you know who to go to when you are facing any problem or trouble? because this is a part of career management. I mean, most organizations would want to have a hierarchy in which they would say, "Ki, if you are facing any problem, you can talk to your manager." But sometimes, what if your problem is your manager? Then who are you going to talk to? So the companies, they do assign mentors, coaches, career counselors, and senior people who are there to give you advice, help, offer criticism as well, both positive and obviously helpful, so that the employees can grow. The mentors are senior members within the organization, and they can offer a lot of support to the young people coming in. This is one integral part of this is one more suggestion that you can offer within your organization. In my university, we do practice it. I mean, I'm considered as a senior teacher now. So the young teachers who come, I am assigned a teacher and I'm asked to coach him or her for like 4 to 6 months, tell them that how the teaching should be done, how they should be taking the classes, what should be their overall behavior within the class, and so on and so forth. So I believe that this is very important because if you just like ask the employee to learn on his or her own, it would become very difficult. But if they are working under a mentor, a guide, then obviously things can become easy. Now, mentoring and coaching, they both have their aptitude, they are both, sorry, positives and negatives. It depends largely that the mentor needs to be guided as well. The mentor or coach should be capable enough so that it is a very effectively communicated. So this is going to be like a complete circle, a complete process in which the organization firstly trains and guides the mentors and the coaches who eventually train the new inductees, and like they have to make sure that nothing wrong is being communicated. If any coach or mentor is already disgruntled and like unhappy with the organizational practices, that he or she may not be a suitable option. What are the traditional career stages? Have a look at this chart. I just have a look at the chat box. Colin says no sound. Colin, I am sure that the rest of them are able to hear me clearly. So please check your system. Guys, if you can hear me, just share an emotion. And how we can do that in Zoom? How can we share an emotion in the Zoom? Do you know how to do it? Share an emoji in Zoom. All right. Or I think we'll have to use the chat box to do that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Now the emojis are coming. So this means that you are able to hear me. That is wonderful. So nice. Share your favorite emoji. I mean, this like let's take a quick short break. Share your favorite emoji that you usually use a lot. I mean, I just shared the one I use because most of the people who talk to me are my students, and this is the emoji that I can use with them. I hope it's not the one, this one. All right, loud and clear. Thank you so much. A quick energizer, a quick break that we took, and it's really wonderful. I'm saving this chat to see later. Oh, so many wonderful. Okay, thank you so much for sharing your emojis. This means that you're still intact with the lecture. You're not finding it very boring. You're finding it interesting and you are sharing and communicating as well. Wonderful. So we have around 10 to 15 more minutes to go. Then I'll be taking your questions. Thank you so much for being such a responsive audience. It is always a pleasure taking classes with AIU because uh, the interaction, it's amazing, wonderful. Okay, So if you are 15 to 25 years old, where would you be? You would be in a phase of transition that you are learning, you are specializing, you are taking a degree program, and you're looking forward to get your first job and start your career. I believe this is the most critical stage. I'm not sure about the audience right now, but if few of you are in this stage that you are doing your degree program and you want to start your career, please think about the personality traits, think about uh, I'm sorry I got disconnected for a while, so I'm not sure what happened. I think my computer was also taking a break, so it's good. Breaks are always good. So I was saying that these days, the value and importance of digital literacy is very high. I mean, people are doing a lot of courses in AI and cybersecurity. I just told you that I was in UK few days back. In London, I was like, everybody was talking about cybersecurity, and I don't have a clue what it is. But people are actually doing courses in order to get jobs in that aspect. So my point is that if you are in the early stages of your career, make sure that the degree and the skill set that you have right now is suitable to get into the market, and it's going to give you enough jobs and money. So the traditional career stage is, and the people who are in their late 40s or so on, like me, they would be able to get the answer to their question who are asking that should we switch or should we continue? You'll get an answer over here. So your first job, your first experience, your first time span is your peak period because you're like booming and peaking in your career, what you want to do. So this decision is very critical. Uh, Obviously, we cannot like choose the jobs we want. Sometimes the jobs are less and the employees are more in number. So you just have to settle. Settling is fine as well in terms of employment, but you need to make sure that your growth is in an upward direction because this is a time when you have the most energy and like you can actually do wonderful things because then you end up in your mid career and in mid career most of the time is already gone and you just want to make sure that from here do you want have you heard of a thing called midlife crisis? I'm sure that the people who are in midlife would know that what it is. You know, when you reach an age of around 35 to 40, you start thinking about things that you are doing because we are halfway through our life probably. So we think about our careers, we think about our lives, our health, and we face a kind of a crisis. That crisis basically tells us that are we going in the right direction in our life or do we need to make a change? Because that is our last chance. I mean, nobody changes their career after 50 or 60 because after that you would want to like focus on the rest of the days of your life. So mid career is critical and then there is late career and then there is retirement. Now, the reason why they are showing this is these career stages, according to this, the companies make their decisions. The employees which are able to stick through the these age groups, they uh, find themselves facing certain kind of strategies which the HR department would want to make for them. Let us quickly go through these stages. In exploration, I was saying that if you are in 18 to 25 year of age, if you are in your final years of degree, to make sure that you get enough exposure of companies of different fields, and you make sure that you choose the right one. Once you establish, you join an organization, make sure that your first, what advice that I give to my students is when they graduate, that your first job should be in a reputable organization. Do not settle. I mean, do keep trying and go for, because the first boost that one gets in the career takes him or her a long way. Because if you end up settling initially for whatsoever reason, then your career eventually gets a setback very initially. So as I've already told, that mid-career is something that encourages or challenges the employees to remain productive. They may become stagnant in their jobs. They may grow very rapidly, or on the other hand, they may deteriorate very rapidly as well. Very critical stage. But since the most of the time in their career has passed, so this is the like make or break moment. So in the late career, people are just like focusing more on offering support to the organization. Nothing like much is expected apart from their coaching and mentoring aspect and their seniority. And in the decline, we do talk about the retirement, and people just want to like move on. So the whole idea behind this lecture was to give you an idea how HR focuses on career management, but most importantly, it is important for you to understand that the type of career that you choose. Whenever I go on a road early in the morning and I see professionals driving to their work, going to their work, some are teachers like me, some are bankers, some work in some other tech companies. I ask myself that what encouraged them to take on this role. I can say for myself that I wanted to be a teacher, so I ended up becoming a teacher. So I'm quite happy with what I do. I hope that the same happiness goes for everyone. And what are the simple basic steps? I mean, I've talked about this thing a lot. My self-development lectures are already there on your portal, on your pages. Uh, Understanding yourself, your needs, managing your work reputation. That is why we do not encourage employees to get into political things and negativity at work, because it damages your reputation. You need to develop your contacts, networks. They are very critical, very important in terms of career growth. Networks, I believe, I mean, they go a long way. Stay updated, keep current, stay updated, learn new skills, enrolled into degree programs, online degrees, certifications. Always keep your options open, keep on exploring around you, that what other options are there for you. Very important, document your achievements. That is very critical, very important. Update your CV after 6 months. Update your resume, because we tend to forget that were we supposed to do these things? Have we done those things or not? Balance your specialized and generalized competencies. Very important that you need to understand about many things, about many skill set while you pursue your career. And always keep on building and maintaining your successful career. So this was all about my lecture today. I hope that you found it useful. I will be sharing these slides. So